All right, everybody, I hope you're having a fine day. As you can tell, I'm at the range today trying to get in a little target practice, have a little gun fun. I always like to start out with my SAFE acronym, remind myself. SAFE stands for first the S, point the gun in a safe direction. That's typically downrange or at the ground or even in the sky, never at anyone. The A is for always assume that the gun is loaded, even if someone tells you that it's not. It is always loaded. F is to keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to squeeze that trigger and basically destroy your target. Maybe an unintentional target, so that's why you keep your finger off the trigger. And then E is for ears and eye protection. Okay, so that's my SAFE acronym. I always like to go over it because the number one thing out here is always safety. I understand that more than most as an attorney who practices law, and I tell you, one of the worst things that can happen is when you accidentally shoot someone and then attorneys like myself start prying into your history and find out what type of training you had or whether you had any training at all, and find all that out pursuant to a deposition. You would want to be able to say, well, yeah, I pretty much was at the range all the time trying to make sure I was efficient with my firearm, because otherwise that could potentially leave you with some liability there. So anyway, I'm going to have a little gun fun. The last time I was out here, the battery on my red dot had died, and since then I've replaced the battery. So I just want to make sure that nothing got off, make sure that the red dot is set correctly. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to set this red dot. I hope that I don't have to do that today. And fortunately, although we are in the first week of July, it is not triple digits out here. In fact, it's kind of cloudy and which makes it beautiful. I see some blue skies coming there just a little bit, but it is delightful weather, actually. A little muggy, but delightful. Last time I was here, I almost fell out from the heat. so I should be able to have some gun fun today. All right, so hang with me. And right now I just want to do some close range. I'm probably 20, 25 feet away from the steel. So that's what I'm gonna do here now. All right, peace. All right, so here I go with my sidearm. I'm shooting a Sig Sauer M18 P320. So again, about 25 feet from the target. All right, let's go. So I think that was pretty decent. Shooting really slow initially, just trying to, again, just make sure this red dot is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I think it was. So great. So I'll reload and do some more, just some close range, and then I am going to do some AR-15 practice as well. Nothing heavy duty, just again, just a little gun fun. Hang out. Okay, so the red dot it seems to be set okay. So now I'm just gonna just get some practice in on the steel. All right, so just hang out with me. Okay, so that went pretty good. I think I might have missed the steel once. Gun kind of jerked out of my hand. But other than that, I think it went pretty good. All right, so folks, this time I am about 30 feet away from the target. I moved back about 5 feet. So, I mean, it's a little windy, so I may be off just a little bit. And you know, in a real life situation, you're probably not gonna be 30 feet away. Oftentimes those unfortunate situations, I've represented many people who've been charged with gun offenses, and they're usually really close. 5 feet, 3 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, very, very, very close. And so this is abnormal to be this far away. It could happen, but I don't think you probably don't even want to be this far out because your chances of missing are even greater. All right, so you'd want to be closer, but then of course being closer gives that person the opportunity to try to put hands on you before you can get off any rounds. All right, but anyway, let me try 30 feet and see how this works. So I was off a couple. But I'm relatively pleased to be, 30 feet away or so. So this time I'm gonna reload and start. I'm gonna move back. I gotta move way back. Being this close with this AR-15 can be dangerous, and it's against range rules. We got to get way back. So hold on while we get situated. Try to hit this still from way down there. I got a red dot on it too, but it's still much, much, much more difficult. All right, hang out with us. All right, so I'm gonna do the AR-15 a little bit here. I'm shooting 223s. I'm probably 80 to 100 yards away from the target. Still having a lot of gun fun. Sun has come out. Still not hot. It's just perfect weather to be at the range. I barely broke a sweat so far. So I'm having a lot of gun fun. Okay, so let's do this. AR-15, again, 223s. Let's see how this goes. I'm starting from the high ready position. We cut on the red dot. All right, so I don't know how I did. It's a whole different animal this far from the target, but hopefully I did okay. In fact, the camera person is telling me that I did hit the steel some, so good there. It's just fun at the end of the day, just staying on top of things, making sure I'm efficient like I told you in the beginning of this video. All right, so I'm getting ready to do my final round of AR-15 shots. And by the way, let me just give you a really small legal analysis here. I think it's been a couple of months ago. I can't remember the case, but some state up north had basically passed a ban against AR-15s, if I remember correctly. And I almost think, if I recall, I think SCOTUS permitted it. Now, again, I'm not very familiar with this case, and typically, if I do a legal analysis, I would have read the case and all of that. I didn't read it. I just read some snippets about it, and I read the headlines. But I recall walking away from that headline not liking what I believe it was SCOTUS who allowed it, or it may have been an appellate court, a circuit court. I cannot remember. But the point is, I didn't like the ban on AR-15s. And here's why I don't like that. The bad guys, they're going to get AR-15s. They're not going to follow the law. It is the good guys who are going to follow the law, in that particular circuit or that district, and they're going to be the ones who are not going to have AR-15s. The bad guys are going to keep them. They're going to get them. They're going to keep buying them. They're going to keep trafficking and merchandising in them. Again, it's going to be us good law-abiding citizens who will follow the law, get rid of the AR-15s that we have in that particular state, and be at a disadvantage to the bad guys. I don't like it. The way I see it, get rid of all the guns or leave the good guys alone. Let the good guys have the guns. Get the guns out the bad guys' hands. So I'm for universal background checks for that matter. Straw purchases, all of that to keep guns out of the hands of the bad guys. But don't burden us, saddle us with these laws. Again, putting us in a disadvantage. Us meaning, again, good guys, guys who are not going to be out here breaking the law, committing crimes with guns. Okay? I wish I had more information about it, but that's all I can remember now. I just remember thinking to myself, I'm going to mention that the next time I'm at the range. All right, so let's do a little bit more. This is my final round, and that's going to be it for the day. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me. And again, this is Armed and Informed. I am your host, Augustus Corbett, the founder of this channel. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the content. And thank you for sharing my love and affinity for the Second Amendment. As an African American, I truly value and appreciate the Second Amendment because we haven't always been able to own firearms. And that has put us in a disadvantage over the years, being a minority group. So I really value the Second Amendment, okay? A little bit more gun fun, and that's going to be it for today. Thank you.